Okay,
Okay, we're called to order.
perfect.
Roll call, please.
Anderson. Oh, sorry, is absent with notice. I wasn't even paying attention, trying to get to that. He's absent with notice. Espinoza. Here. Graham.
Here.
Kutil.
Yes.
Jackson.
Here.
Miles.
Here.
And Randall.
Here. Look for a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Have a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Look for approval of the minutes from the March 11, 2025 meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the March 11, 2025 meeting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Move on to public comments. I'm going to assume we don't have any other public here tonight, non-agendas. So we'll move right into our visitor section. Teresa, go ahead and give us staff side.
Okay, so on visitors, we have Aaron here, Aaron Junck, that is looking at developing a couple parcels here in town. So these parcels are off of Western Avenue, and I put a map in your packet to review, but they would be on the east side of Western Avenue, basically between Ramona Drive and Fifth Street. They are mid-block, they are long, going east and west. They have development on the north side, the south side, and the east side of it. So really the only way to access these lots are off of Western Avenue. They're, like I said, they're totally developed around. So in order to develop it, rather than put just one house on this large parcel that, faces Western, he is looking at proposing to put a private drive on the south side of the parcel and then twin homes thereafter. He would like to put in 6 twin homes if he could to get that developed. It would be very similar to what Bernadine Place is, and I put that map in there too, that's just north of it, that has that private drive. City does it, it's not a city street, city won't maintain it, they would have to do that there. What he's looking to do, what he's proposing that I put in the packet is that he meets all the lot area, he'd have enough room for each twin home, and what he proposed to put for size of the twin homes would meet the setbacks on them, so they wouldn't encroach on each other. But his one thing that he cannot meet is the lot width, so the frontage along that private drive. It's supposed to be 90 feet minimum per our ordinance. The very west parcel would meet that by his proposal, but then thereafter, it's only be 75 feet. Obviously, that would require a variance. Before he moves ahead with that, basically, I said, I talked to him last Thursday, was it, before you went, Thursday, Friday? And I said, we got a meeting on Tuesday, why don't you come and talk to the board, and we can kind of look at maybe various options and to get your feelings on it. All in all, these parcels have been sitting empty because they are kind of the unique circumstances, being mid-block like that, and not having street frontage. But something like this can be done, just like I said, Bernadine Place did something similar. They were, though, able to meet all the requirements there with Bernadine. So he basically wants to approach the board, talk to you about it, get your input, thoughts. Maybe we can figure out some ideas to kind of help him along before he moves forward and actually purchases anything. So, Aaron, I guess you want to take
Come on up to the podium, let's have a discussion.
Yeah, have a discussion.
Good job. Thanks for meeting tonight. I guess she pretty much nailed the whole thing. The biggest thing is, kind of submitted what we're looking at doing there. As she mentioned, the lots are really skinny and long. We'd like to do that. Each unit is about 30 feet, so having about 75 feet would fit it in the setbacks of what we're proposing. The twin homes she mentioned that are north of us a couple blocks is similar, but yet a little bit different in the aspect of if, I think that's 100.
They don't have the lot depth that you have.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. That's really what it comes down to. So, like you said, we hit all the square footage, just not the width of being 90. So.
What's kind of unique on yours too is the very east end, you've seen, there's kind of that bump out, so that's.
Yeah, there's a waste hole.
There's a way, exactly. It's kind of very unusable without a little.
Looks like a great way for a private developer to put in a nice little playground park.
There you go, a nice little.
I was thinking you could put a garden there.
Or
Yeah.
garden spaces for your,
Yeah,
for the area, something like that.
yep.
Because I don't know how you fit anything to work right there.
Yeah, there's not really anything to fit back there. I know Teresa and I kind of talked about maybe having a variance back there, but then it's like if you even put any type of a dwelling unit, you're gonna be looking at the side of another person's house and.
Right.
On all sides,
Just-
yeah.
Yeah, so,
I like the idea of a park.
yeah. Be more than happy to put, like a nice swing set type setup in there,
Yeah. I mean, just something for the,
Yeah,
utilize the space.
yep, for sure.
And it'd be kind of that, or, I mean, the garden idea is not all bad either, because you probably have got some neighbors to the north that would take you up on being able to use garden spaces.
Yep,
The retirement community there, I bet, would be all for.
right. Well, and what is it, 88 by 77, should be enough room to potentially do both.
Do some plots and do
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
So
So,
why,
oh, go ahead, Tim.
yeah, so why doesn't this tie into the road just to the north through the Robin Hood district?
Because that's also a private road.
And so,
Well, they would have to give an easement to tie the two together.
okay. And the issue is,
I doubt very much that they want to give an easement to tie the road together.
Especially if there's going to be multiple people driving
Yeah,
on it.
and if you do that, if you tie that road in, it screws up another whole lot there.
Correct. And then at some point in time, because we have snow,
to me,
who's
it's
going to be
3 feet and a
responsible
half,
for
2
snow
dead
on that?
end.
who's
I was
gonna
gonna say, and then you gotta worry about who's gonna maintain it and whatnot.
Agreed, but it
the
is,
city would not maintain. it.
right, the city has nothing to do with it, so it's their own problem.
Is there an approach
Same as Robin Hood.
There isn't, I
No.
mean, we'd have to grant them an approach,
No,
but,
I walked the lot the other day. There's no-
yeah, because it's never
I
been
mean, I-
developed.
I've looked at this
Right, but I'm talking.
chunk of ground
Well,
plenty of times and said, what could be done with it? And he even approached the people that did Robin Hood Village or whatever that.
Oh, yep, yep.
Bluebird, whatever the,
Yep,
is
yep.
right to the north there.
Little Robin edition. yeah.
Little Robin, yeah.
Yep.
I even approached them and I said, why don't you guys buy that and do as Tim said, bring your road down through and run it back out that way and put the whole, and just make an L-shaped road and put it all together.
Right, yeah.
And really didn't get anywhere with that.
Clearly.
Clearly, but
Yeah,
someone
'cause
else,
this guy- 'cause it's undeveloped.
but someone else has come up with a way to utilize, in fact, utilize that property, which I think is a good thing. My initial look is like, okay, you stay at 90, you can put 5 lots in. You go to 75, you can put 6 lots in. How does it all fit until I looked at the depth, because been in Bernadine plenty of times, and those are shoehorned in there. I mean, there's 25 feet backyards, maybe 25 and a half foot backyard.
I think they just make it, they're not very.
They just made it in, we're here.
They're narrower,
This one
yeah.
has huge backyards
You're gonna
still.
have huge backyards and.
You saw what I plopped on here. Did you see what I drew for you?
No, I didn't.
At no additional
You gotta give us
charge.
a little drawing of it.
I'm
It's
very
like-
visual,
This is
so
very
I
helpful.
I drew some plans for you.
Fire department have any issues with a dead-end road like that?
So that's one thing that has to be designed into this, is there's the
Well, you can
private,
make a turnaround back there.
the private road's gonna have a turnaround of some sort.
Okay, yeah.
Because,
Yeah, because it's just for fire purposes, so fire trucks.
So pretty much just like the,
Just pretty much like Bernadine, because at the end, they have, kind of the
Yeah, I-
around there at the end.
You can see what if you want to see, just what
Yeah, I should-
I just got your width in there, because she told me what your width was going to be.
Yeah.
You can have that, because I knew what I did. but I didn't know what your depth
Your
would be,
point
but I
is-
just guessed.
is good there, Jim, and like with Bernadine,
'Cause I need
it's
a visual,
required that
so.
it goes in and then there's a leg on the
Got nice
backside of
photos to
it.
do it. It's like-
The-
Having been back there.
There's basically a T on the very end of it. It goes a little bit past and then it goes
And then I
up
just
this
went by
way.
your picture.
So there's
Yeah,
way
so that's
more.
kind
So
of,
fire
she kind of said, kind
Oh,
of plotted on there,
some of the
make it
fire
look
Sure.
good too.
Yep, yep.
ambulance.
I think mine is better.
Ambulance. I can
How
take
many
a
of
truck,
these trees
truck and
have to be
trailer in
removed
there
behind each
and
building?
get turned back
How
around.
much is actual hangover and what's got, where
Yeah.
you're removing the there.
So we actually found this lot because my brother-in-law is hired to mow it and pick up tree branches all the time.
Okay.
Oh,
And so that's how we found this dang thing, you know? There's a lot of the trees that are really bad shape.
Yeah.
You know, so our plan, we want to leave trees because they're nice. But on the same token, we don't want branches falling all the time.
Right.
So we know we're gonna have to clean a fair amount out, but we still want to leave a lot because they're mature trees.
You may as well come in and clear cut it,
What?
because that whole row of trees is ash trees.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Okay. Gotcha.
So, I mean, take a second look, but when I've been up through there, I believe that whole row is, those 2 rows of trees.
Sure.
I think they're all ash.
Okay. Yeah. He just
So-
says he has to pick up branches all the time.
So their days are probably numbered.
Okay.
So before you make a development, stick everybody with dead ash trees that they have to cut down.
Right.
You might, it might be a clear cut situation that has to go on there, unfortunately, because it's a nice grove of trees.
Yeah.
And again, when I looked at it, it's like, okay, what can you come in here and do and leave?
Yeah, and
That
they're on the
grove-
north, which would be great.
Right, that grove of trees in there for people to get, mature trees right away. But I think you're looking at the majority of, like I say, I looked at the 90 and, I think part of why we have the 90 feet on twin homes is because a typical twin home design is
Laid out long.
laid out lengthwise. Everybody wants to have lengthwise so they can, the whole front of their house, and they're not very deep. And typically, twin homes will go in on shallow lots. So if they're gonna get the square footage, it's gotta be stretched
Around
lengthwise
here,
on the
there are a lot
lot.
of our golf course lots. and-
Golf course lots or, along Mickelson. Twin homes, in my experience in being around a lot of them, is they're extremely small backyards. They're 25 foot, at 25 and a half foot depth, they just made the setback and called it good.
I was like, most of them just meet the setback.
When I saw this picture, and I went, okay, now I see why you think you can do that, because you're gonna put the house in
Yeah.
deep-wise,
Yeah.
with a really cool modernistic look on the front of it.
That's his thing.
Very pretty.
I'm a fan, Aaron, I'm a fan. That's his style, so it's
And
kind of
I've
cool. It's
seen
very cool.
some of these, they're just off of Marion Road to the east. What is it, Marion and,
So is it east or west?
Just
They're-
to the
they're-
east side. 50
You
Point
built
Street.
those, right?
Yeah, I built all
okay.
Oh, that book there.
those.
Well, there's some that are tucked in the neighborhood up there too. Are
Yeah.
those yours also?
Yeah.
Okay.
They kind of stick out. because
It's like in
they're-
Ohio and Pennsylvania and up in there? Yep.
Yeah, so we built the twin homes on Pennsylvania that are modern, and we built all the moderns on Ohio.
Because I've got a client up on Pennsylvania Circle, and I drive by those and I'm like, they kind of stick out like a sore thumb in the neighborhood, but to me, it's a cool sore thumb.
Right, yeah,
It's a cool sore
Yeah.
thumb in the neighborhood.
yeah.
And that was always a question, when we first started doing them, I was like, why are you building them up here? The biggest thing was because of ordinances and covenants. Most developers put covenants in where you can't design that and put it unless you're spending 250 plus a lot, and then they know you're putting $1 million building.
Correct.
So that's how we were able to do it. There was no restrictive covenants when we found that land there, so. That's why it sticks out like a sore thumb.
So I think the biggest question as a board that we have is, this is going to require a variance.
It will require, if,
So we all have to decide what part of the variance that we say works. And
Well, is 7 feet enough on either side of the house?
That's what,
Yeah, that's what the-
that's what the.
that
is the
is
regulation.
that's
our
the set.
requirement.
That
So
is
he
the
can meet our
setback.
setback.
The only thing he's
It's
not
the
meeting
width.
is the 75 feet versus it's supposed to be 90.
the
Correct.
frontage.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it's something for us to,
We're just talking about, you should see them stacked. If you go down to West Dolores Avenue in Sioux Falls.
So yeah, these are actually 14 feet apart, because yeah, they're 7.
Right, I'm saying like, my mother-in-law has 5 feet between her house and the next house over. And when they put, I don't even know why they decided to do sprinklers on big lots, because once sprinkler on somebody's property is gonna cover
Oh.
that whole
Could
thing.
these lots be the new lots, the small lots?
We did not, with our new district, we did not change anything with twin homes. Only Z lots and single family as far as setbacks, is that what you're required, or like lot width?
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
it
a-
didn't change lot width.
Right.
That's a-
Why didn't we?
That's a little good point that you brought up in that.
Mhm. Yeah, because I double checked that when we did
I'm not-
anything with twin homes, no changes.
Because that would be one way to
Way
put,
to rezone it if we would have made that
we
small.
we could still change that zoning ordinance
Oh, yeah. we could still do that.
to allow 75 foot. Because
But you're not gonna wanna do that on.
obviously you've got the
most
experience of
twin homes,
building
right? 'Cause
these.
they're gonna go wide.
Right.
If they want to build a traditional twin home, and a traditional twin home on 7-foot side yards, they're not gonna be able to do it at 75 feet. They're gonna run out of room, because now you've only got 31 feet for each side of the twin home, and that includes putting a garage in there. You're not gonna park much more than your bicycle in that garage. So, I like that you brought that up, because that might not be
Something in the
a
future.
bad idea of how to do it.
Be a better way.
Be better than a variance.
Don't like variances.
Right, I
Because
don't,
it's really, according to the rules of the variance, I didn't know, as you brought up, what part of the variance is
I
not.
think this could fall under, it's unique that is not similar to its surrounding lots, the shape
Correct.
and the, I think it could fall under variance for that, I mean, because these are uniquely shaped, they're mid-block, they're completely surrounded, where most development is long, a street.
but considering that we just put in our
Tiny lots.
affordable housing, high-density housing,
But yeah.
it
those
wouldn't
could
be a
changed.
bad idea, I mean, we never thought about that when we were doing that. We changed Z-lots, because we put Z-lots into that. So it might not be a bad time for us to consider that. Because I don't think going down to, I don't think allowing 75 feet, or even 70 feet, I mean, pick out that smaller number.
As long as they have to stay with,
They
can we
still
say as
gotta
long
meet
as
the
they still stay
setback.
within the lot square footage?
Well, we still have, you have still got your side yard setbacks either way, and that's my biggest concern is keep those side yard setbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because 5-yard setback,
You don't-
5-foot side yards are for the birds. I mean, I've places in Sioux Falls where they've got 5-foots on the side yards.
It's 2.5 for each house.
And then they drop in the air conditioner, and the HVAC guy decides it's a good idea to put them right across from each other. And I can't get a 36-inch fertilizer spreader in between the two of them.
they,
It's all about the lawn guy, you know?
Exactly. But that being the case, it's tough for people to get a mower in the backyard.
But again, that's
everything.
when, it's those kind of people that go, that's a dumb idea. That's, that doesn't
that's a
work.
big thing, you want to keep those setbacks, so you're not encroaching on the neighbor's property and whatnot, so
What's
to
gonna
meet
do
them,
with edging?
that's
You know.
great. Like, to
What's
me,
that?
that's more
Do some
important than
edging
the
around
lot
the
width, is
outside.
keeping that
You know, people
distance.
do,
Well, yeah, they put 3 foot of landscaping on either side.
right.
And to Troy's point, then they come in and put a sprinkler system in, and we run a sprinkler system down either side for 18 inches of grass.
That's my
I mean,
mother-in-law's
really.
house, and that's the house they put next door.
So
That's
by
what she
the
has
time
to
they
do.
put a sidewalk on there,
Yeah, the sidewalk to get to the front door, which is on the side of the house.
oh geez, the house, the house, are the doors on the side of the house too? Oh my God.
And so then and then they have
We got
two
two
sprinkler systems.
We've got to have something for a minimum width.
No. I love
Everything he's got in here is gonna beat this in Sioux Falls.
I mean,
They only
in
have
our,
the doors facing each other, good
if
lord.
we did a change to the zoning ordinance,
Southwest Sioux Falls.
we've got to have lot minimum
The house
width.
is up next door, so sure this is a little wider than that sidewalk.
Yeah, you have to have a lot area, lot width, and
Right.
Do I
setback.
understand, this looks like the garages are in front, whereas in most twin homes, there's
Right.
the home and then the garage is side by side. So
Yeah,
it's
so you typically have a garage, and
You got
then
5
you
feet
see
of
the
grass there.
the house where it could
Yeah, I
go
mean, I'd have
versus
to measure it out
garage.
between these two sidewalks.
And then it's a
Also, this
two-story,
is-
right?
Yeah, and so these are two stories, so
Probably
that way you just don't only see a garage and then everything's tucked behind it.
So that helps you too with your width.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of room if you don't have that. Yeah.
So.
And a lot more yard.
A ton more yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do something with the ordinance, you know,
So they count
specifying the garage,
They don't count, it doesn't matter.
you know, front versus in between?
I don't think you need to do that.
You don't need to do
It
that.
is.
No, I think in the ordinance,
5-foot setback.
if,
I think if just the
Of- of
setbacks, I
in-
think they don't have room for the garage in the house.
an envision of what I would see if we wanted to go, if we wanted to change the zoning ordinance itself, is you could take it down to 75-foot width. You keep the side yards the same, so your 7-foot side yards on either side. You keep your rear setback at 25, you keep your front setback at 25. All of your setbacks stay exactly the same, okay? And your lot size, I would almost say keep the lot size the same, because the guy who's gonna put this in he's gonna have to go back a long ways anyway, so he's still gonna need the square footage to get that put in there. Is that a fair statement, Aaron?
Yeah, and with ours, we don't need as much because we're going up. You know, some people could potentially just go a lot deeper.
Yeah.
But with ours, we're just going up.
We also
I
have
think I've
some
seen-
requirements about square footage as far as concrete versus yard and all that up front
Nope, you can concrete your entire front yard now.
with your driveway.
After we made that
Yep,
change.
you can
all
concrete
way
the whole
down
front
to
yard.
Okay.
To the
Oh, we keep down on weeds.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, when we changed the driveway throat and driveway width at the property line, that pretty much opened it up. If somebody wanted to concrete their whole front yard, they can.
So the width on those affordable housing lots, what's the width on those?
High
So the
density.
single family, or,
Thank you.
We have to call them high
we
density.
put them down to 50 feet
50 feet.
for a single family. And that's what. But we didn't do any changes to the twin homes for the high density zoning.
Yeah, we put twin homes in the high density, but we kept all the
We kept all
regulations the same.
Exactly,
I'm not sure.
Will that take 2 readings to get that through?
definitely, yes. It'll have to go through you guys, with the public hearing, it'll have to go through 2 readings of the council and a 20-day publication period. So just like before, it's kind of a couple-month process.
And where is that gonna put you?
What are we talking, timeline for like 2 months from today type of deal, or more like 3 or what?
Probably 2
True.
months from today, maybe we could do it, because if I can get it to
I
the
think
paper
that's
tomorrow.
Because I put 90 day to figure everything out, so I think we still hit within that timeframe.
Let's do
Could be
that.
doable.
I mean, I don't see it being a problem.
I don't
just
think
a
it's a
time
bad
thing.
Yeah. I think this is the better route versus variance, like we had talked before when we originally changed it for Nelson's, changed a lot with. I think when I was looking to see what other cities have for like high density, the lot area was, a lot of them were around 10,000 versus our 11,250, so I think that's something to consider, but,
Yeah, you still got all that covered.
Yeah, he's got 12, so.
right, and it still has,
A lot
you know,
size.
but, I think that's the route to go again, if that comes to timeline. Because there may be future developments that could do, very similar.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of where, and thank you, Stacey, for suggesting bringing it up, and it hit me right away, is if we can put that into our high-density zoning area,
Yeah.
other developers might look at it and say, oh, hey, how about if we do this? And we can encourage something other than just the same old cookie cutter, long twin home in
Yeah,
neighborhoods.
you can
Or you
open up
can
more
build elsewhere
development
in town.
opportunities. Yeah, so,
I like the
So
look
what do we have to do
I
to
do,
get that
I
done?
love
You're
So-
building all on top
No,
of
we
the garage,
don't
too.
have any
That's
motion
gonna
tonight,
go
it's
flat
just a
out.
no,
discussion.
it's
We'll
just a
ask-
discussion, and I will move ahead with getting a public, you know, the 10-day notice, so then at your next meeting, yeah, I'd have no time because it'd get published on Friday, so at your next meeting, you can entertain passing it.
And if it takes too much time, we could issue a variance.
If we had to, we could.
Yeah, we have to, we
So we shouldn't hold
try
you
to
up.
push it along though,
Yeah, we'll make it work for you.
yeah.
That is,
So is the loft in the front, is that, so that look towards the street?
So that would be, so my son actually is working on the CAD part of it.
Facing the south?
So the driveways face the south, and the part that's above the garage is your master suite.
Okay.
And you have just a small little private, deck off the master suite. And then there's 2 other bedrooms upstairs with a loft area that looks down over the living area.
The back's a lot quieter, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There's some little yippy frickin' dogs barking at me the other day when I walked out there.
yeah, I was gonna say, the only thing I can see is the neighbors to the south, when they figure out or see what this is. There's neighbors to the south are not gonna be happy because your people sitting on the deck above the garage are gonna be able to look right down into their backyards.
Gotcha.
And a bunch of them all put fences up there so that,
Yeah, well, they all have fences, definitely.
yeah, they all have fences.
One's a little decrepit, but they all
Yeah,
have
it'd be nice if
fences.
you've got that much backyard. You could almost put that deck off the back of the house, right, so you're overlooking your backyard instead of your driveway. Just,
That's where the big fancy paver patio is going in.
well, I'm just saying, if you've got
The back is
trees
definitely
back there, you can
quieter
sit
than the
back
front,
there.
I
Yeah,
would
the back
say.
will be way quieter, because you've
Yeah.
got whatever living,
Yeah, you got the leisure living.
leisure
you
living,
got-
and you've got the other people that just, that Jensen
Not very
just
rowdy,
bought.
it'd be-
Yeah,
And it'll be a lot quieter to look.
totally your call, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely quieter in the back.
Yeah.
There were some yippies barking at
Just-
me.
Just FYI, unless you take care of the yippies.
Hey,
If I could get this
Hey, I'm just
So, yeah,
changed,
if we're on the next meeting,
I say, I can get this to the paper tomorrow morning, I can get published Friday, we can get it on the next meeting, and then the 2 council meetings thereafter, about mid-May, we could have this after the 20-day meeting period.
and,
Because we meet twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
due diligence, everything comes into place, but once we've approved it and it goes to the council, I would hesitate to start making progress.
Sure.
Just gonna say that, I mean, once it comes out of us and it goes to the council, unless people from the neighborhood all of a sudden catch wind and come and
Right.
raise a big stink with the council, I don't see.
I don't know why they would or how
I
they.
don't know why they would either.
Well,
They're just not gonna get to look at trees anymore, but they
There's-
knew the lot.
Well, this
town just
They
let
knew
them-
the
They
lot,
don't get
they
nothing in
do.
their backyard.
As soon as I built my house, they were mad because they didn't get to look at an empty lot
Well-
anymore, but,
Them lots have been empty for how long?
yep.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah, so
My dad
that,
bought it and planted all the trees, he said.
yeah, so I mean, there's probably a reason most people would complain about
They
something.
could have all got together and bought it, but, you know,
They could have purchased it.
they could have.
Yeah, no, I,
Tell people.
don't have to tell me. Don't have to tell me.
So-
cool. Any other questions that you have for us, Aaron?
Should I sell my house?
You're going on it.
A lot
No.
easier.
Well, if they're affordable, I might move my mother-in-law down.
Sweet.
Good, it looked
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, Mr. Clarke, what do you got for us?
Well, residential, 12 open, single-family home price. Commercial, wastewater recovery, I think it's just like in May, right, Teresa?
What did you say?
The wastewater treatment plant, I understand, May-ish.
We're gonna start it, because it won't be open by then, but,
That's gonna be quick.
yeah, that's gonna be really.
The school was still looking at the guardrail and handrail. Concession building, I think Craig said during the spring, right, we closed.
Yep.
The Mac shops, we've done all the rough framing, and there's 3 buildings that have some interior framing for small, so we've done those. The Light of the World Church, I hate to bring it up, but so they have 2 permits, one for an interior door remodel and one for signings. So, hope that goes expeditiously. And then 126 North Main, I think it's right across the street, they're gonna put a 2nd story on. Okay. Parties.
On which one? Where?
Right across,
On
the
Beth's-
little insurance, that used to be put off insurance on the corner there,
They're going up.
Beth's,
they're gonna go up.
Beth's old Photoshop?
Yep,
Huh.
yep.
Wow,
Do a
that's
second
going
story.
up or put off's going up?
Bethel, put off's old one, that used to be
Yeah, the
Beth's
Beth's.
photo, yeah, right on the corner.
They're gonna go up.
She doesn't.
It's not very
She
big.
doesn't own it
It's not very
anymore,
big,
yeah.
is it?
She doesn't
Oh, no,
own it
it's-
anymore?
It's very tiny, that's
No.
why,
Oh.
that's why
It's
they
tiny.
need room.
That's why you
All
go
right.
up.
Yeah, that's it, this timing.
Yeah, interesting.
Go up, right?
They make it a lake house?
Yeah, go out, you go up, you
Go
know,
up.
lake house, go out, you go up.
That's funny.
Party storage still has a few little small things to do, the car wash moving forward.
Car wash? There's a car wash coming to town?
She's being facetious.
I'm like, what? How do you not know?
not
It's an
know?
ugly eyesore in our neighborhood. They gotta get the damn thing going.
Oh, just kidding.
Programming is still doing their rough with North Oaks, and then we got the two new ones on Root Trail and North Oaks, so. The town is bursting with commercial work. Doesn't seem like it, but it is.
What'd you say on Root Trail?
Root Trail, there's gonna be some new commercial shops.
Oh, yeah, next
So
article.
we got
That
plans.
was a big storage
Next to your
warehouse.
same guy, Buffalo.
Yeah.
We got plans we're reviewing.
Yeah.
The guardrail handrail for the school, you know, you've been waiting on for.
I know, yeah, the schools now got to approve it, and then the contractor's gotta install it, or don't install it, so, yeah. We got that orange fencing, you know, to not have a little short fall. So,
I was just wondering, the school's gonna be out.
Just a little.
The
but
guardrail.
maybe it'll be done this summer, you know?
What a joke.
I mean, yeah, at some point, is there not, can you not fine the contractor?
Well,
I mean, at some point, there's gotta be some repercussions for not having you together, right? So,
yeah.
Wasn't that a year ago? I mean, that should have been a year ago.
I would
You
assume
went through a
the
whole
school
school year.
isn't closing it out until it's
Sounds to me
complete,
like
they
it's
got
a
the
school
permit
board
pulled.
problem and they should
I was
handle it.
gonna say, I think it's
Yeah, I'm
the
just-
school, just like a city project, if
Yeah.
they don't get it closed out.
I mean, I'm sure it's on somebody's punch list.
yeah, I'm
Yep,
sure
they're all
it is.
punch lists.
I'm sure that guardrail handrail's right up that contractor's punch list. Yeah, I'm sure
That's the
at
hardest
top of
thing.
their punch list.
Yes, that's the hardest thing to get completed on project.
Fine.
Mr. Christensen?
My code enforcement report since our last meeting, I had violations for parking on grass, gravel maintenance needed, animals at large, pet licenses, dilapidated buildings, and rubbish and junk.
What dilapidated building did you find?
It's on South Main.
Right south of the city shops. The residents in there and.
Oh, yeah.
backyard. In that back.
Okay, cool. Any questions for Mr. Christensen?
Good.
Teresa, anything you need to add to your report?
Nothing really to add, I guess. If you have any questions on anything. I did put in the packet, ISG is doing the park plan, and they put, in the packet they kind of have a redraft of Lions Park, kind of, that wanted you guys to look over, and a vision statement. So if you guys have had a chance to look at those, or if you have any input or comments on it, try to get them to me by the end of the week, because ISG is going to try to incorporate in their plans. They're supposed to come out with, by next month, 60% plan completion for us, a draft for us to actually read a plan and to look at and see if they're going down the right road or not. So maybe probably by the next meeting, I'll have that for you, which will have a whole lot more detail. But if you have any input on these things, let me know. Otherwise, do you have any
I was
questions?
wondering on that baseball diamond field, are they actually gonna put fences in there?
In Lions Park,
In that, where the 3 baseball diamonds are, is it?
those will basically.
That's all existing.
I say, that's all existing. That'll stay the same, just as it is right now.
These 3 ball fields all exist, and those fences are all there.
Yep.
They make a good
Can you
shot.
put a walking
Basically,
path?
the changes
We
are
got
kind of.
12 acres up north for soccer.
Yeah. Basically, the big changes for this area, and it's pretty full, is that, they're proposing with the pool, making changes there where we got our current bathhouse and larger pool. That would be kind of maybe parking area, and they would actually build a new, if we ever get to a point of building a new pool, it would be south of the existing pool, utilize the current waiting pool, put a new pool house. Addition of some more pickleball courts in there, moving the basketball court kind of further south, and then having, by the existing playground area, maybe putting another playground unit more for younger kids, basically that younger age group. And like I said, just adding maybe some additional parking or whatnot, but that's pretty much the changes they're proposing. But it's pretty built out. Keeping the fields that are there, keeping the shelters that are there, the amphitheater, kind of all that stuff, so, yeah. We'll see, and then that's if we decide to make those changes. I mean, this is a proposal, obviously, a plan, so. Nothing set in stone at this point.
Is there any announcement made as to what's going in front of the multi-family housing units?
Over where?
No, there's not, no.
No
there's-
announcement yet.
There's a press release waiting.
Yeah, I knew that, but I thought it was supposed to have been
I think
released.
it's getting close, but as far as I know, it's still.
The land is closed, the project is coming. Just haven't said who's coming yet.
Yeah.
Anticipation. We'll know shortly.
It's a good thing.
Anything else?
Why are you pointing at me?
You're in the seat that.
That's the seat that always moves to adjourn.
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Why are you
Opposed?
pointing at me?
You're in the seat.
Meeting adjourned.
That's the seat.
It's
Sorry,
been a
we
while.
have- sorry.
Why was my name said that I was out last week without notice? Teresa wrote that I was out without notice.
She did, in the notes.
It did